Thanks.
I lost something once.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be playing the Elite Employee deck and getting clapped in the process. But today it's not my fault. This kind of just goes to show that, you know, 2v2 battles can go any way, depending on what kind of partner you get, depending on what kind of, teammate the other side gets, if they pair well, if it's just two random people that don't sync well with their decks. Today they kind of happened with me and my teammate. Now, part of the issue honestly has to do with their deck. It's like super heavy. They got a Sparky, an E Giant, E Barbs, Inferno Tower, and like it's just really expensive to play that kind of deck. And on top of that, they kept doing a bunch of odd placements. Like they just kept playing that Inferno Tower everywhere. And it didn't make any sense. Like, we were just throwing that down like it's just a random tower. But I guess. Another issue was is that they were playing that heavy deck straight into the enemy and getting hard countered. So it was like an expensive deck elixir wise, and then we were just throwing away elixir straight into a hard counter. Because that's exactly what they were doing every time my teammate put down anything major, with no support behind it. The last issue was that they just kept on rocketing my towers straight to death. Like they just kept on repeating that, and it seems like Clash just keeps on giving me opponents that rocket cycle apparently. So they just kept clapping me down with that. And I'll be honest, I did make a couple of mistakes in the beginning, like with one of my mini P.E.K.K.A placements, and yeah, they got a lot of damage off of that. But I mean, that was one small mistake compared to them literally just throwing down high elixir cards just at random. And one more thing you might notice is that I have an extra win at the top. It should be 3 wins and 3 losses. However, you see 4 wins and 3 losses, because I did win another game against the person that kind of introduced me to Clash Royale and got me into the game, and I finally got that win. So they should be promoting me to co-leader in the clan, but they haven't did that yet. So I'm gonna have to raise until they do that. But yeah, I can kind of show you a little small clip if you don't believe me. But yeah, that brings us to a total of 4 wins with the elite employee deck. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I'd have more. I thought I'd at least get to like 10 wins with this deck. But if I'm being honest, I might want to take it to 1v1. And I think that's where I'll be able to get that. So I'll probably just wait and do that in a different video for the 10-win streak game. But yeah, I was getting clapped a whole lot this game. They actually rocket cycled me like 7 times on my right tower. I believe it was like 6 or 7 times, but that's a lot of rocket damage. If you let your opponent get that many rockets off, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a heavier deck. It can lead to some pretty good pushes, but my deck is kind of optimized as like a heavy defense in a way, and I need to be able to like cycle my elite employees. So like the more I can cycle that, the more we can build that defense into a heavy offensive push. But they just kept on playing the heavy cards early, and it kept getting hard countered, and I didn't have enough time to really build up enough elixir for the elite employees, so I just kind of tried to defend the best way I could, but we still took too much rocket damage towards the end. So yeah, does this deck have potential? Most certainly. Did we get clapped? Absolutely. And it wasn't my deck's fault this time, man. I really tried to put up the best battle I could, but my teammate just kept walking their high elixir cards to the other side of the map and just bending over and saying, "Here, just take it." And my opponent just hard clapped them and sent it back to the other side. But I also can say that 4 wins in a row for a 2v2 is not that bad, because you can play a really good deck, and like the very first battle, Clash Royale just gives you a terrible teammate. Like, I mean, you play a really good deck, and boom, your teammate has like a 1.1 Spirit Cycle deck, and you realize as soon as they start playing a bunch of Spirit Cycles, your opponent's gonna be like, "Good game," and then you're collapsed. So a lot of things can happen. But look at this. This 2 Inferno Towers placed down. Like that's kind of wild. I've never seen such Like that's 10 elixir just sitting there, not doing anything, not getting any type of value on the field. And that's, like I said, that's part of the reason why we just got clapped long term, because my deck is primarily optimized for defense. But yeah, I did my best and we just ended up getting clapped towards the end. So yeah, see you next time and stay lucky.